Sabyasachi Mittal, founder and managing director of Fulcro. Sabyasachi founded the digital media agency Fulcro, previously known as Interface Business Solutions, in 2003. Over the years, Fulcro has won over 200 awards for its work in the digital space, including the Grand Prix at the Abbey and the Grand MV. Let me put it to you as directly as possible. What's wrong with the client agency model?
So I started my career in 1996. Like the previous speaker was saying, I'm from IIM Calcutta, so I joined Asian Paints. And at that time, Ogilvy was our agency, and Piyush and Madhukar were like gods. We were product marketers, right? And IIM, we didn't even have a subject on brand. We were taught the 4 Ps, right? So when we joined, we knew how to make products. I was an Asian Paints, so we knew how to make shade cards. But then we turned to Piyush, and Bharat Puri then used to be our CMO. And literally, we used to pray that let Piyush crack this campaign. Okay? So we knew nothing about brand and advertising. I spent 30 days at Ogilvy, and we used to literally look up to these agencies to solve our problems. Now, what has happened, in my opinion, and I'll take you through 5 stages of the so-called collapse of agencies, is that the aura of these agencies are no longer what they used to be. Let me tell you the first problem which happened when I saw that at about late 1990s, early 2000s, is the flight of talent. Now, what happened at that time was not so much salary, because I used to be paid pretty much the same as what a person in Ogilvy was paid. But Asian Paints had the most Guju office. Ogilvy was cool. We could sneak in beers. And it had a brainstorming room. So it was cool to be in the agency. Now, brands started getting cool. The startups started coming in. And it was more cool to be in a startup with a better working environment. Better pay obviously followed thereafter. And the best talent from not only agencies, but also traditional companies started moving to these cool organizations. So the third thing which happened after the flight of talent was digital coming in and slowly changing the way both the consumer interacts with us and the way communication gets deployed. So the agency initially, I knew Ogilvy had every division. They had Ogilvy PR, Ogilvy One, and I know Ogilvy Rural and everything else. And we used to just say, Ogilvy, solve our problem. Now, early 2000s, Ogilvy could not solve our problems. And then we brought in specialized media agencies and specialized PR agencies and specialized, and it just went on. And by the time, we were in the late 2000s, there were more agencies than a brand marketer could handle. We moved then to the 4th stage of the problem, that today's CMOs were born in probably our times. They don't get digital. So they brought in digital marketing managers, which was the same flight of talent which moved to these brands. But these guys don't know communication. So now you have a CMO who's trying to build and solve for a business problem, and there's a digital marketing guy who's chasing his cost per view targets. And I think all other agency heads over here will agree that all of us are known to be great at something and decently good with the others. But brand marketers are looking for specialists. So the problem today, if I were to summarize, is that you have the best tire available, you have the best engine available, you have the best acoustics available, but nobody knows how to design the car. And I think agencies have failed to step up to be able to be the solution architect which builds the car.
So let me ask you about stage 6 and stage 7.
Right.
What does stage 7 and stage 6 look like? What is the future?
Okay, so see, I always used to wonder what is the genesis of the word agency. And I was told then by Piyush that we were the agents of publications at some point in time. And as agents, we used to represent these publications to brands. I think we have still remained in the place where we expect a brief and we expect to solve for the brief. Now, like I was saying, the problem is that brand marketers now are often able to solve their own problems. You look at most of the startups, they'll have brilliant minds in-house. Sometimes we work with a client called Asus. Flipkart tells us what to do. They dictate the creative. Now, what do we do as an agency of Asus? What do we do? The challenge really, and the opportunity thereof of stage 6 and 7, is there will be 2 kinds of agencies in my mind. There will still be the specialized service providers, as I call them. So your AR agencies, your media agencies, people who get programmatic, they're all specialized service providers. They will have a role in the ecosystem. However, unfortunately, over there, the challenge that I see is all going to be cost competitive. So the margins will be low, and therefore we will not be able to acquire the best talents. Some agencies or companies, as we like to call them, will scale up to the CXO table. Okay? They are the people who will not be problem solvers. but they'll be the people who will be doing growth hacks for these
Be
companies.
part of the solution.
They will identify opportunities of growth. They will create those solutions, co-create them rather. Today with a lot of our clients, there is no brief and there is no agency coming back. We sit in the room, we state what the problem is, we brainstorm together. Sometimes a brilliant idea comes from the brilliant guide at the client side. Sometimes it comes from somebody from our side, but we co-create the solution. The next thing is about scaling up the talent. You kept asking a lot of people, our agency is becoming younger. We are becoming older. Like that, I've reached out to so many ex-CMOs and CIOs to build a talent pool, and our average age has actually gone up. And today, when we walk into a room, they look for two things from us: industry-wide experience and depth of knowledge. And that's really going to be something that some agencies will be able to provide, scale up, and that's where the revenue really is, and hopefully someday valuation.
Fascinating. Thank you so much, Sabya.
Pleasure.
It's been wonderful having you here. That was great perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.